who've been to seminary and these pastors, biblical scholars, when they get to studying the Bible, they get out their Hebrew dictionaries or their Greek dictionaries, all these different translations. But me, I'm a simple-minded person. I can't think of all these different things. My head's like spaghetti noodles. So when I read this, what really stuck out to me was this verse. Chapter 13, verse 20. Here I am. I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with him and he with me. Now, how often do we really go get the English dictionary, pull it out, set it beside the Bible, and say, all right, let me see, look up the word. Knock. What does knock mean? To tap on an object, right? So, think about that. What does that mean? Here I am. I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat, and he will eat with me. There's a story about a man. He had a dream. And in the dream, he was walking along the beach with Jesus. And just all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he sees different pictures. What these pictures are different times in his life. From when he was a child, when he was a little kid, to when he was a youth in the youth group, like all of you are, to when he was in college, and then, I don't know if they had college back then, but to adulthood. Then he notices that he looks, and throughout each one, when he hits a time where he was just really low, when he was at rock bottom in his life, he looks and he's thinking, no, I only see one set of footsteps there, Jesus. All the other times, there's two set of footsteps. One set of footsteps is his own. That's his footsteps. But the other footsteps, that's Jesus. So, he's thinking, God, you told me you'd be there. You wouldn't give me any more. You wouldn't put any more on my plate than I could handle. So he in his dream, he starts to get a little mad, He's thinking, Jesus, you made me a promise. You would be there. So why did you forsake me? So he's walking along the beach with Jesus in the sand, and he turns to Jesus angrily, looks at him. Jesus, you told me that when I need you and I'm at rock bottom, you will be there. Think about calling Jesus out, saying something to him like that. You know who Jesus is. Jesus' response was, precious child. Look at the pictures again. Those times where you see one set of footsteps, that is when I carried you. Those times when you're at your rock bottom, that's when you need Jesus the most. And that is when Jesus is there. Jesus carried the man. He was so caught up in himself. He was so caught up where he was. He goes to school, take a math test. And at home, he could be having a trouble, a world of pain that you never even know that this man's having. But he's so caught up, he didn't even see Jesus working through the situation. He thought that Jesus just threw him out there and let him be. You know what I'm saying? Jesus isn't going to do that to you. He's not going to do it to me. None of us. When Jesus makes a promise, he's going to keep it. And he will not put too much on your plate. Any burden that you have, Jesus will carry that burden with you. Let's go back to this verse again. Chapter 3, verse 20. Here I am. I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with him and he with me. It can't be any more simple than that. In that story where Jesus said he carried us, when he lived this life, he did carry us. He carried us on his shoulders. That cross, that tree, that piece of wood that he carried on his back, that was you. That was me. Those holes that were in his wrists, those were put there by you and me. Those nails, that was me. That was me. That was you. You asked, how can a God who sent his Son to this earth to live a perfect life, how can he send him here to die for you and you and you and me? You want to know how? Because God sees each and every one of you as his son and child, exactly how he saw Jesus Christ. And we'll go back to this verse again. Here I am. I stand at the door and knock. Wherever you are at in your life, Jesus is standing there. He's knocking at the door. Whether you're at a place where your family's having troubles, problems all the time, you know what I'm saying? Jesus, he's right there, knocking on the door. Says, just let me in, Evan. Let me in your life. I'm here to help you. I will carry that burden with you. That one set of footsteps, those aren't your footsteps. That's my footsteps because I'm carrying you. You know what I'm saying? Every single one of you, every single one of us has the chance of being a child of God. If God, he wrote on your wall on Facebook, what would it say? I saw what you did last week, and I'm not happy about that. Is that what he would say? I know that's what a lot of your friends would say. Well, actually, they'd say, hey, man, that was fun. That's what they'd say. I mean, that's what some of my friends would say. And Jesus, God, he would say stuff like that to me. Jeffrey, I saw what you did last week, and I'm not happy about that. All of us, we can't see each other's lives. We can't see how we live it. But God can see that. And he's always there. And he gave us Jesus. He sent Jesus here onto this earth so that we would be that nail. We were that cross on his back. We were each and every single one of those thorns jammed into his head. But you know why he did that? He sent Jesus here, his son, so that he could save his other sons and daughters, each and every one of us in this room. I'm going to read this verse again. Here I am. I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with him and he with me. Like Greg Andrews, he's leading the study for the guys called The Forgotten God. You know who the Forgotten God is? The Holy Spirit. When you hear people say, God, he's with you. Wherever you go, he's there. You turn around. I don't see God anywhere. You know why? Because that's the Spirit. The Spirit of God is with you wherever you go. That's because Jesus came here and took that nail, took that thorn and that cross. Each and every single one of those were you and I. He took those to the grave. And when he arose and resurrected, all of those stayed in the grave so that each of us could ask God into our lives and become saved and then spend eternity with him. What the worst part of eternity is going to be? Anybody know? It's not going to be the burning and the fire. It's not going to be the demons swirling around us. The worst part of eternity is going to be eternity separated from God. I think that from hell, they're going to be able to look up. They're going to be able to see God for eternity. And that is misery. That is hell. God didn't say, Jeffrey, this is what hell is. But, he can put convictions on your life. Ain't that right, Andrew? He did with yours a couple weeks ago with Andrew and Sean every single week.